I have a great non-recipe for you. Steak with Worcestershire sauce onions. It's one of my favorite combinations, super simple, one pot, you're in, you're out, you're done. You just want to start with a steak, enough to serve the amount of people that you have. This is probably about 1.5 pounds. It can be a flank steak, which is what this is. It can be skirt steak, which is one of my favorites. Pretty much anything. I have preheated this pan to medium high. You know me, I like it hot. Add a tiny bit of oil to your pan. See how it's bubbling up? It's gonna swirl around in the pan really nicely because my pan is super hot. I forgot to season. Salt and pepper, or just salt. Let's just say salt, because I'm kind of in a rush. It's okay if it's smoking a little bit because you want it to sear and get really golden brown. That's the sound you want to hear when you add steak to a pan. You want to add a little pepper, go ahead. Now that it's in the pan, everything is fine. It needs to cook for 4 to 5 minutes per side, depending. So I'm gonna leave it and cut up an onion. Okay, 1 onion. Actually, you know what? 2 onions. I want a lot. Slice your onions. That steak is sizzling away on high. I'm going for classic steakhouse flavor here. Ooh, I think it's time to turn. So like 4 or 5 minutes on the second side. My onion is done, I'm just gonna push it to the side. It looks like a lot, but onions cook down a lot. Some parsley, finishing touch, chop it up coarsely. In the same way that you check chicken, if you press it and it feels like this, then it's rare. If you press it and it feels like this, then it's well done. I don't want my steak rare, but I don't want it well done either. Down here, it's kind of medium rare, and here it's kind of rarish. So I'm gonna take it off and let it rest. I'm gonna make the onions in the same pan. You're probably gonna wanna wipe this pan out. It's got a little bit of blackening in it. Don't get rid of these bits. These are delicious and brown, but just get rid of the blackened stuff around the edges. But please be careful, because this is really hot and you could hurt yourself. Add a tiny bit more oil to the pan, and then add your onions. Sizzle. That's right. Scrape up those brown bits so that all the brown deliciousness gets onto your onions. I like them just translucent and kind of soft. That should take 5 minutes. I have been tending these onions. See how they're nice and golden and how much volume they've lost? To finish this, Worcestershire sauce, about 2 tablespoons, and then 2 tablespoons of butter. Rich and unctuous, that's what I like. The minute you put the butter in, it starts getting all glossy and beautiful. So delicious and yummy. Now that this steak has rested for 10 minutes, it's time to cut it. What you want to do with a flank steak like this is cut it against the grain. This is the more rare end. And you can see though that it's more intensely pink in the center, and then it gradually gets less pink towards the outside. That's properly rested meat. When you take it off the stove, all the juices have been driven into the center by the heat. When you let it rest, they relax and they come to the outside, so it'll be nice and rosy pink throughout, instead of densely red in the center and sort of brownish on the outside. I have a less rare side over here, let me show you that. Barely pink, but beautiful and juicy still. There you go. Let me get a plate. Okay, that should be enough for me. Delicious. Some of those onions. Buttery, Worcestershire saucy. Is that a word? Worcestershire saucy? Probably not. A little bit of parsley never hurt anyone, right? Why don't you give this recipe a try tonight? It's a little bit of your local steakhouse at home.